Going on, you guys? You got Mike here from Mike'sMoneyTips.com coming at you today with a little piece of information that might be useful for some of you digital marketers out there, affiliate marketers. Anybody that's really self-employed can use this. I'm going to talk to you about ways to possibly lower your taxes today. Keep in mind, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, I'm not nothing else. I'm just telling you what I've done in the past with past companies and everything that I've done in order to lower my tax liability so I don't have to pay as much at the end of the year. If y'all have any real questions about lowering your taxes or how much you need to pay or anything else, please get a hold of a CPA or an accountant. Don't just go off of what I'm telling you. I'm just telling you what I've done in the past. Because the tax code is roughly 10,000 pages long, and it's like 3 million words, and nobody's ever read all of it. So, nobody can really say that they even know it all. So, if y'all get any value, entertainment, anything else, give me a like, comment, let me know what you like. And anything else y'all might be willing to give me a direction in which y'all would like to see this go. So, let's get started. First thing, start an LLC or an S-Corp. If you have these, you can limit, especially in the limited liability corporation, which is the LLC. It limits how much trouble you can get into if somebody don't like what you're doing or whatever. You can actually have a protection from your business. They can't sue you personally if you have a LLC. They can sue the business, but not you personally. So you can protect the house, the cars, your actual bank account. They can just sue the business. Same as the S-Corp, but it's a little different situation. Like I said, I'm not a CPA and everything. I've always set up limited liabilities, but I know S-Corps have got their tax breaks and everything too. So, definitely get with your CPA or accountant to make sure. So next thing, pay yourself rent. Okay, so, most of us work from home or whatever. If you actually are renting a space at, say, the local strip mall or whatever else, you're going to pay rent, and that's a tax write-off. If you're like me and you do it at the kitchen table, you can write off that room of the house as your office, just as if you're paying rent at another establishment beside your own house. Because, see, I come from trucking, and even I could write off a part of my yard where I park my truck. So, the best thing to do is just pay yourself rent and write it off at the end of the year. You can write off, I think it's 25% of your rent or mortgage or whatever the appraised value of your house is for that year. So, but there again, like I said, get with a CPA or an accountant. I'm just telling you what I've done. Take it with a grain of salt, but make sure that you talk to a CPA or an accountant about it in order to make sure that, y'all are not overpaying for your taxes at the end of the year. Because trust me, it's no fun. The first year I was self-employed, I paid way too many taxes. Next, we got write off all your business expenses. Okay, so as I was saying, you can write off a portion of your car. You can write off a portion of the gas expense. You can write off a portion of your electricity, your internet, especially if you're home based, you can write off a lot of this. Now, if you're in a building, I don't know because I've never done it that way, but I believe that you could possibly write it all off from there for a business expense, but I don't know that. But why spend the extra money for another building whenever all you're doing is limiting how much taxes you're going to pay at the end of the year versus what you already paid out of pocket. You're not going to get that money back. I'll go ahead and tell you that. No, so for me, it's always been the smarter move to do it from my house. You know, and this is all based inside the U.S. Anywhere outside the U.S., I really don't know how y'all's taxes work, and I'm sorry. But, you know, it is what it is. I just know what I've done inside the U.S. The next thing we've got, get health care. I know it's a national law here in the U.S., but let's face it, there's a lot of people that don't have it. Still, even though they'll just pay the penalty because it's actually cheaper. If you're self-employed, I know it's a big expense. I know it is. But you can actually take and write off 100% of what you spend on your health insurance. So the last time I had insurance, I was paying, I want to say it's $1,200 a month. So, you know, that was $14,000 at the end of the year. I didn't have to pay into taxes because I'd already paid it into health care. You know, that's a big chunk of change whenever you're talking about how to save money at the end of the year. So, you know, it is what it is, people. And it is a national law. I know a lot of people say, well, I don't want to pay that much money because the penalty is only like $700 or $800. I get it. I understand that. But that's an employee mindset, not a business mindset. Business mindset, you're trying to keep as much money in your pocket as you can. And that's one of the better ways to do it because you really need health care anyway. That way you can go to the doctor if you're sick or need prescriptions or... Oh, and prescriptions are right off too. Just make sure you keep your receipt. But like I said, I'm not a CPA or an accountant. I'm just telling you what I've done in the past to do all this. And the last thing, set up a 401k. The max benefit you can put in there, I think, is $15,000 a year now. So, you know, if you're making enough money and you can put in the $15,000, that's a tax-deferred savings account that you can be putting it back there and create interest possibly a lot better than any savings account that you'll ever find. I mean, it's nothing to have a 401k to make 3 to 10% a year, where normal savings account you're looking at a high interest savings account, you're only looking at 1.5. So I mean, you know, you're still talking almost double at 3. I mean, you know, come on guys, it's a no-brainer here. You can save your money if you wait until I think it's 55 and a half. You can withdraw the 401k with no penalty. I know you can borrow your 401k, pay it back with interest to yourself. So there you're making more money. You can do a lot of things with a 401k. That's a beautiful process that just, you would be surprised at how fast it adds up. You really would. You know, but, you know, like I said, I'm not a CPA. That's the number one disclaimer for this. I'm not a CPA, so, or an accountant, so please check with those people to make sure you're doing what is needed for you. Because I don't know your situation. I don't know how much money you have, how much money you don't have, how much money you're making. I mean, I don't know if you're just Joe Blow off the street watching this trying to figure out how to get started in all this, or whether you're making $3 million a month. I mean, I don't know that. So, you know, without further, or, you know, just whatever y'all do, just please talk with your CPA or an accountant in your local area to make sure that you're doing what you need to do for you. And, you know, if y'all could like and subscribe, be greatly appreciative. Without further ado, we'll talk to you later. Remember, I'll put out videos 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Later.